Hi everyone. I wanted to talk about desperation. I had a email after a video or an audio saying it just made me feel more desperate. It made me feel like I'm trying everything and clutching at straws and there's no hope. Um, oh yeah, that desperation is all consuming, isn't it? And it drives us out into anything we can possibly find to get rid of it. And that's certainly what was happening with me. All the things I tried, yoga and meditation and NLP and hypnosis and everything, trying to get rid of what it felt like to be me, I think we could say. Um, Trying to get rid of that unease and that suffering and um, yeah, for some it's anxiety, for others it's depression. Um, it could be phobias, it could be compulsive practices, anything like this. Desperation, get rid of it. And we try everything, don't we? We try everything to not feel what we're feeling, to not think what we're thinking, to not be what we're being. It's just, life is just a desperate escape, an attempt to escape from this right now. And and so we might find ourselves now in this conversation, and we see people in it who are no longer desperate, who are accessing a peace that they might not have had before, or accessing a different, a whole different understanding of relationships and of work and living and families and money, and we are desperate to have that. We're desperate to find a way of being the thing that we think that we need to be okay. And that is the that's the that's it's the torture and it's the freedom at the same time, because the peace that is accessed through this conversation, through this understanding, is the peace of the experience of whatever is arising. It's the peace of having any emotion, whatever it is. It's the peace of having the most desperate depression, the most high tensed anxiety. It's the peace of allowing all of that, of knowing all of that can come in, roll through like thunder and lightning, and that the essence of what we are isn't impacted by it. It's the peace of having any thought, any belief at any moment, any experience at any moment. And and from the perspective of desperation, that is torture, because the desperation is the desperation to not have those things. It's the desperation to have a control and a restriction on these feelings, on these beliefs, that we must feel calm, we must feel happy, we must feel whole, and we must feel like we're loved or approved of, or we must feel wanted, we must feel included, we must feel like we mean something. We must feel like life means something, and then we'll be okay. But this offers nothing to that. And so no wonder that when we hear that, the desperation gets worse. So if this isn't going to help me, and this seems like to be the end point, then there's no hope for me. I'm lost. I'm a lost case. Yeah. And so it's torture and it's freedom, because we it's torture because it's unbearable to hear, and it's freedom because it's the only truth. And deep down, that's known, isn't it? Deep down, we know that life can bring anything in, that the mind can bring anything in, that any emotion can arise. We know that. And we know that the attempt to control it is futile and exhausting and hopeless. So this is realism. This is the absolute freedom of saying the search has to be given up. The search contains in it all the suffering. The attempt to get rid of these things turns them into something that has to be got rid of. So contained in the desperation is the freedom, is the portal to everything that we've been looking for, because it shows us that desperation cannot end, can't end. It can't be satiated by finding the thing it's trying to have, because having it only brings in the possibility of not having it. And so this desperation to have the right emotion or have the right experience, have the right approval around us, it's its own suffering. It can't ever be answered. If we get what we want, we're living in a state where the not having of it is present all the time. Do you see that? There's no answer. And so here we are at a brick wall with all our desperation, and the only possibility for that suffering to be known for what it is, which is the portal to freedom, to peace, to bliss, to the infinite potential of being that we really are. When suffering is seen as the resistance to what is, and the desperate and the unfulfillable attempt to fix life and emotion and mental state as we believe it has to be, then suffering is doing its job, because it's showing the impossibility of all of that. And so with this brick wall here that says getting what we want is not going to solve that desperation. It can't. The only only solution is to see suffering for what it is, which is this indicator of a unfulfillable search. And so it ends here, the search ends here. And here we have whatever comes in, whatever rejection, whatever emotion, whatever experiences, whatever disapproval, whatever feeling of being not included or not enough or not loved, in it can come. In it comes. It can all come in. That's what we are. We're the meeting of all of it. We're intelligence, we're life, meeting whatever arises. And there's nothing can be fixed in any of it. Nothing can be made into concrete and stone and like, okay, this is like, now I'm loved, now I'm approved of, and rejection is never going to happen. Now I'm invited into this event and I'll never be not included again. Now I'm happy and I'll never be sad. Impossible. We can see the insanity of it. And the sanity is to say, what I am is intelligence that meets it all. That's all I am. This concept of me, these beliefs of me, not one jot of truth in it. I am the intelligence of being, of aliveness that responds. Full stop. And then desperation, it's seen for what it is, which is, yeah, it's desperate, like by definition, isn't it? There's no answer to it. We can seek for the whole of the rest of our lives, and there will never be a way to secure what that desperation is trying to secure. So let's have it ending here. Let's end it now. That search can go on for decades and decades, but it just is this veil over the aliveness of being, the perfection of being, the exhilaration, the intelligence of what all of us are. It's what we are. That's our truth. And that search to be something else, to have a different experience, to try and fix ourselves in place somehow. It's just hiding. It's hiding what we are. So let's give it up. Let's give up that search. Let's see desperation for what it is, and allow that recognition that this is it. This right now. This body, this chair, this ceiling. That's it. Yeah, and it's more than enough. It's everything. It's everything we've been looking for. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to that beautiful listener. Yeah, you've got this, my lovely. Yeah. So much love. Bye.